go. Nothing. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Tuesday Night Live. I'm so glad you're here. And you know what? I have this little thing that I'm going to do, and Katie doesn't even know. She's on right now. But what I'm going to do on Tuesday nights for, I don't know, I guess this is the last one for a while because I'm leaving town. But starting tonight, Katie King, get your pencil ready. The first 5 people that are on, the first 5 names that pop up in the comments, I'm going to send you a $10 gift certificate to the website. Thanks for being early birds, for being the first eyeballs on the show. We're going to start that tonight. The first 5 people are getting a $10 gift certificate. Now, wait a minute, how am I going to do that? Because we don't want it to be the same 5 people every week. I'm going to have to put some thought into that. So maybe it won't be the first 5 people, but something's going to happen for the people who are here before. Maybe we'll have a special drawing for the people who are here by 5:05. Is what it will be. Or maybe one of the $25 gift certificates will be to that. Something special is going to happen for those of you who are on time. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate all of you. As you know, I can barely read my screen, but I can see Barb Carlson's name popping up. And Cindy Posa, hello, everybody. And Karen Day and Sandy. And I think Jamie was at the very top, but that name has slid down my list already. So thanks so much for being here on Tuesday, April 14th, the day before tax day. What do I have to share with you today? First of all, for those of you who are new, welcome. If you have a question, put a bunch of question marks in and then ask your question in the feed, or the word question in all caps. Katie will feed it to me through my earpiece because I can't actually see the feed. And you can't win one of our $25 gift certificates if you don't comment. So make sure you comment in the feed, ask a question, say hello, all those things. Looks like you guys are expecting some big storms in Illinois. Barb put up a little post hoping she could maintain internet. I hope so too. Okay, so what do I have for business? I need to tell you a couple of things. One, we were on live last week with Scrap Mania. And if you aren't familiar with Scrap Mania, they are a giant store, over 13,000 square feet in Cedar Rapids. They're open 7 days a week. And you know what I saw today, which was really kind of cool? People gather groups and they get on a bus from wherever they are, and they go and spend the day there at Scrap Mania. And it looks like so much fun. So if you are anywhere near Cedar Rapids and you want to get a bus together, one of the other amazing things was Stacy, the owner of Scrap Mania. If you reach out to her, she will help you fill your bus in whatever area you are by promoting things on social media and sending out emails. So if you want to visit Scrap Mania, if you want to make a day trip out there, follow them on Facebook. Great, amazing store. They ship within the USA within 24 hours of you placing an order. They, of course, carry our full product line. But if you go online and look at their store, you are going to be amazed at all the things they have. They have a retreat house that holds 9 crafters. So maybe you want to make a road trip out there anyway, just with some buddies and spend a weekend at their retreat house. And that's only 15 minutes from the store. So you can go to the retreat house and then also spend some time shopping. So Scrap Mania, don't miss it. Check them out on Facebook. Follow along. Get on a bus and go there. It looks amazing. Okay, the other announcement I have is Kiss Camp. I don't know if you're familiar with Kiss Camp or not, but they have one coming up this week. If you look up Kiss Camp, and I didn't give Katie any links. I don't know if she maybe can find one because she has probably posted a link to Kiss Camp. It is a scrapbooking camp collides with summer camp fun adventure. And they have just started carrying the organized option products as well. So if you like to do events, if you want to go to camp this summer, look up Kiss Camp, check them out, see if there's one near you. They look also like tons of fun, and you can get your favorite 2 products while you're there. Okay, the couple of questions that people asked me recently So one thing was about powder puff, quick quotes, powder puff inks. And so I got a few more of them, and they fit in. So I did this kind of backwards, I guess. I'm going to go to my overhead and you can see what I have going on here. So this is the number 3 created case. This is 16 powder puff inks, and you can see they don't actually fill that. Well, someone asked me about, can the basic boxes fit in any of the created cases? And you can use stack double 2 of the F. Well, I got my little panel, my little cheater thing in here, and load them with up to 36 powder puff inks. And then it's easy to pull, one tray out and expose all the other inks that you've got. Now I only have, I think it's 18. Sorry, I said 16, but I think it's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. So that is a workable solution for 36 quick quotes powder puff inks. And then, of course, the other option for that was to use the same bag, the number 3 bag, and instead of using 2 of the F trays, the 1.5-inch F trays, to line that with 6 of our P boxes. And if you go with the 6 P boxes, so here's what my problem was last time, is I was kind of fudging the estimates, right? Because I couldn't fill them all the way across, or even 2 bins full. But now I have enough to fill 2 bins. So you can see, actually I have enough to fill 3 bins. So I'll put one in the middle. So you can see that even though the tops of the powder puff inks, you can't see that, even though the tops of the powder puff inks are taller than the P boxes, you can still zip that closed because it has that little bit of extra space at the top. So get it around the corner here, get around zipper. So there it is, the same bag. So 2 F boxes or 6 P boxes are going to fill that nicely. Now, you might also then be able to not use, maybe you don't have that many inks, I guess, and you could put 3 P boxes in and use this other space for something else. So there are my quick quotes people. I got more quick quotes ink so I could test my theory and make sure I was giving out good information. Now, if you're watching and you don't use quick quotes powder puff ink, it's a great product and it's really, really fun to work with. So ask around your crafty buddies and see if they use it and give it a test. You are absolutely going to love working with this ink. Okay. But then the next question I got was an interesting question about the boxes. And I was asked, can you stack them up? Interesting. They're not super sturdy on their own, right? They're kind of designed to be connected together and used in different ways. But I thought, I don't know, I'll give it a try. So you obviously can connect them together. I might need to reload my thing here. You obviously can connect them together this way. And so if you were trying to create some sort of shelf going up, the problem I had, well, which I may have just mentally solved. Hang on, everybody. If you use enough clips, yeah, I don't know. I might have to get some more clips because, oh no, there's more in my little pouch there. You might be able to go up with them. I don't know. I can't testify to the sturdiness. For those of you who watched on Scrap Mania, was it Scrap Mania that I did that? I threw an entire box of ink onto the floor in front of me. It was very embarrassing, but yeah, I guess you could do this. I mean, I'd use a lot of clips, and depending on where it's going to be. Now, come on. I'm going to have to get more clips. But I think you could, like if you were trying to create kind of this standing thing, I mean, I guess if you're stacking something like this in there, or you might have something else, or some other little space on the back of your work desk where you wanted to go too high with basic boxes in different sizes. I think these work better because they're smaller, so there's more structure. I'm not sure you'd have the same result like if you were using the A box, B box, but again, I guess it depends what you're putting in there, how heavy it is, and how you're structuring it. But it looks like you can go vertical with some of these the basic boxes if you want. Now, if you have particular questions about something, put it in. Any question is fine, but in reference to being able to stack and use these boxes stacked, put it in the feed, and I will answer it when I can. Okay. Do we have any questions before I get into fancy folios, Katie? Can I show a more detailed look on how to put the clips in the connector? Of course I can. Let's go to overhead. And so one of the things about the clips, hang on a second. One of the things about the clips is they're really easy. I mean, you can just see I'm just sliding them off there, right? They're really easy to take off. And I think they'll work forever. I don't know. Maybe at some point they might get stretched out, but it hasn't happened for me. Okay, so you can see there's a little slot in the back here. Hard to see because it's clear. And you just put the tab in there and kind of push it with your finger. Now, if you put another one in there, and they'll just keep sliding down. You can put 8 in at one time. And then I'll show you as soon as I get them loaded in there, right? So you just put it in there. Right? And then when you flip it over, you can see what's in there. So especially if you're using the colored ones, you know what color's coming up in there. And then to put it on the box, you just, or whatever, you might be using it to attach a gift card, or, it'll hold up to 40 sheets of paper if you're clipping those together. The best thing is to just put it straight up and down. Sometimes I try to kind of reach over here when I'm on the camera, but really if it's straight up and down, and then you just push that plunger down, right? And sometimes they get hung up, like every once in a while, I'll get 2 in there or whatever, and then just take it off and push it into your hand. Okay, there, I just did it. Push it into your hand, and then you can just reload it in the back. And sometimes they get stuck kind of up here, and you just tap it, and they'll drop to the bottom. But it's really, really easy to use, and you're just basically feeding that clip right into the back. Open side is what goes in first. It's the only way it can go in, I think. I think if you try to put it in, let's see if if you can't even really put it in the wrong way. It'll only fit in the one way, the right way. So easy peasy. All right, Katie, any other questions? And I think I forgot to repeat that question, but hey. Okay. So this week we have got fancy folio on sale on the website. And the reason I put them on sale on the website is because I have gotten 3 or 4 questions this week specifically about the 12 by 12. And I thought, well, maybe this is a good time to talk about them. So if you're unfamiliar with fancy folios, let me get to the bottom one here. There are 3 sizes, 12 by 12, 8.5 by 11, and 6 by 6. And what they are is a clear file folder with interior and exterior pockets. And they were designed to keep things together that you use together, sort your papers by color, or I'll go through a couple of different uses. But the big question about the 12 by 12 was, how come I can't get my 12 by 12 paper in the pockets? The file folder function, well, here's the perfect example. I'm going to go to overhead. I don't know if it's back far enough, but we'll see. So this works like a file folder. You can see it has the file tab here. And when you open it up, this is the 12 by 12 surface right here, right? So you've got this space here. It depends how fat these guys are. But this is where you're going to put your full sheets of 12 by 12. They're going to go right in the middle like a file folder. These are actually bigger than 12 by 12. I'm not saying you can't get a 12 by 12 piece of paper in here. You can, but it's very tight, right? This was designed more to hold scraps and accessories and that type of thing. Same with the exterior pockets. You can get a true 12 by 12 piece of paper in there, but it's tight and uncomfortable. Use the middle section of your fancy folio, the file folder portion of it, to hold your full sheets of paper. And then when you drop it into your paper handlet or into your file master, it's going to work. The tab's going to be up and it's going to work just like a big file folder. So that is why those so then the next question is, why don't I make it big enough to hold lots of 12 by 12 paper? The pockets, aren't the pockets big enough to hold 12 by 12 paper? Because once I make the pockets big enough to hold 12 by 12 paper, it actually means they need to be at least 13 by 12 and a half. Then with the seaming and the way this is made, the actual product then becomes almost 14 inches wide. So it will no longer fit in anything else that we make. So the 12 by 12, the middle section is going to hold your 12 by 12 paper, and then the pockets are going to hold everything else. But it isn't designed to hold 12 by 12 paper, or lots of 12 by 12 paper, I guess, in the middle. Now, some people don't like that. They don't like the fact that their paper's just in the middle. And so if you want a little bit more protection with that paper in the middle, then you could take one of the 12 by 12 regular pockets, right, and put your regular paper in there and add that to the center. If you wanted a little bit of extra protection, or maybe you want to separate out those papers a little bit more, just throw a couple of pockets in the middle, and then you've still got the same thing. So this is actually really good if you are using this to hold something like, I don't know, maybe your kids play soccer. So you've got all your soccer embellishments and soccer scraps and stickers and that type of thing in the pockets of the folio, but you have 3 or 4 different soccer paper collections that you want to keep organized, then those inside this pocket are going to be perfect in there. I think I talked about this exact scenario with travel, where you have all of your travel things and then the different destination papers in the pockets in the middle. But that is why, if I made the pockets big enough on the outside of this to hold multiple sheets of 12 by 12 paper, it would be too big to fit in anything else. So there is a method to my madness on that. But yeah, but fancy folios this week are on sale. They're 20% off. There's 3 sizes: 6 by 6, 8.5 by 11, and 12 by 12. And of course, they work across the board with all of our other things. They're great for all kinds of things. One thing I love them for is actual scrapbook planning, right? So this is a trip. Some of you have seen this already. I have all the mementos for the trip here. And then in this upper pocket, I have 5 of 4 by 6 pockets, and my little cheat note about what's in each pocket. Those are the layouts: travel, temples, tiger tour, monkeys, morning tour. So those are already sorted out and ready to go when I'm ready to scrapbook this event. Now, this works great in the 12 by 12, but you're also going to like it, and it's a little bit easier to travel with for keeping mementos. This is the 8.5 by 11. So it has 2 pockets instead of 3. The slash pocket, again, full-size sheets of paper can go in the middle, but if you throw this in your suitcase, right, it's really easy to manage while you are out traveling or doing something fun, and you can collect all the little mementos and bits and pieces and keep it in your suitcase. You can also take a big one, right? The big one fits everything. You have those big maps and all that stuff, but sometimes it's not as good of a size to get into your suitcase. And then, of course, we do have the little guy, the 6 by 6, which has 1 large pocket. Slash pocket, again, your 6 by 6 paper is going to fit right in the middle, right? It's going to be a file folder, and that's going to fit into our 6 by 6 paper handlet, Faline zip and go bag, and sorry, I knew this cough was coming. I could feel it. The back of my throat. Might be stuck with it for a while. So yeah, all the 6x6 things, the fancy folio and the 6x6 is going to work for those as well. I may have just done that. That may be the end of my voice. I knew it was right there at the bottom of my throat. So the 5x7 pockets are also going to fit. I hope you can hear me. I'm having to whisper so I don't, are also going to fit inside the 12x12. So if you like to sort your pictures in or use bigger pictures and you want to put them into your fancy folio, the 4x6 pockets will fit in the top pocket, but the 5x7s will fit in the bottom pocket. All right, Katie. Do you have any other questions popping up, Katie? Okay. And the question is, what do I suggest to hold cards that you've already made to keep them nice? I think depending on the size of the cards that you make, that either the Karen zip and go bag or the Kirsten zip and go bag are going to work great for that, as are the File Masters. So I guess there's a couple of different things. If you're using the File Masters, and so let's say 5x7 is probably the most common card size, you got a lot of extra space inside the 5x7 File Master. So it makes it easy to group cards by type: birthday, Christmas, congratulations, whatever. And then you can put bigger cards or smaller cards in here. So 5x7 is your size. Then the 5x7 File Master is perfect. And you can use the tab divider pockets if you have multiple. You might have birthday, girl, boy, I don't know, whatever, man, woman, however you want to define those, funny, fancy, whatever. So you can use the flip-flop tab divider pockets in there, not only maybe to hold really great cards, things that have a lot of dimension to them, things that could easily get damaged, but also to divide up a File Master box. You can do that same thing, I guess, with the Karen zip and go bag, which is 5x7, or the Kirsten zip and go bag, which is the 9x6. So just depending on what size cards you make, or if you make mostly big cards, then Kirsten might be a better option. And then there's also, I guess, the thing I like about the File Master or Kirsten or Karen is that you can close them up, right? So specifically, File Master is a little bit, you're going to get less light damage, right? Kirsten and Karen, depending on where you have them, the light can get through them, not so much with the File Masters. But if you're storing your cards, or where you have to store them is in a drawer or something like that, then even just using the basic boxes in the right size, right? There's 5x7, 4x6, 5x7, and then the 9x6, to organize them in a drawer and keep your birthday, your sentiments separate inside that drawer. If they're in a drawer, then something like the basic boxes are going to be good, or on a cart or something like that. Even on a shelf, if you're keeping them in a cabinet, and you may not necessarily need to have them closed up. Sorry, that was a really long answer, but it just depends on the size and where you're storing them. And if whoever asked that has specific questions about where they're storing them, I'd be happy to give another answer to that as well. All right, Katie, anything else? All right, my friends, I know this is going to be kind of a short and sweet. Oh, if you haven't put a comment in, you definitely want to do that. And Katie will be able to pick two. Well, let's pick one winner, because we're doing the first 5 today. So we're going to pick one $25 winner. Katie's going to pick that person momentarily. So if you haven't made a comment, please do. And then the first 5 names that were logged in tonight in the feed, and hopefully Katie's got a balancing act there, because we have 2 feeds going. Actually, we have Facebook and the YouTube feed. And then Katie will jot those down and do that. And then she's going to pick the winner. So I think that's it. I'm trying to think of what else was on my my list today. of questions, but it was really kind of a quiet week last week. So, for those of you who took advantage of our Masters Golf Widow coupon, I hope lots of you got to take advantage of that. If you were a golf fan, like I am, we were watching the Masters, and I thought, this is going to be a great day to do something special. So I hope those of you who are golf widows who spent the day in your craft room instead of in front of the TV got to enjoy that. You know, that golf tournament is on my husband's bucket list of things to go to before he dies. So hopefully in one of the upcoming years, we will get to Augusta, and obviously we can't play it. It's only for members and those guys, but just to go to the tournament would be amazing. All right, my friends. Katie, have you chosen a winner? Dun, dun, dun. Maureen Adams Talley, you have won she's on Facebook. Okay, and you have won the $25 gift certificate. If you can reach out to Barb at theorganizedoption.com, that's Barb at theorganizedoption.com, and tell her that you are this week's winner. She will get you all hooked up. And then the $10 winners, 5 of them. Do you know who they are yet, Katie, or do you have to look back in the feed? Okay, so who's our 5? Here they come. Jamie Fleming, 2075. Barb Carlson, woo woo! Congratulations, Barb. Penny Schrock. Jill Cleaver, 4301. Donna Pierce, 6229. So you 5 also are going to get, or each are going to get a $10 gift certificate. And if you reach out to Barb at The Organized Option, that's Barb at theorganizedoption.com, she will get your gift certificates set up in your account so you can spend that the next time you're shopping at theorganizedoption.com. And I think that's it, everybody. So big news is Fancy Folios are on sale this week. And yeah, I guess that's it. If you have other questions, you can always email Barb at theorganizedoption.com, and she will get those questions to me throughout the week. And if I don't answer them during the week, we'll answer them here on Tuesday. Oh, I guess I didn't say that. No Tuesday Live next week, where I'm leaving town. And then I'm actually not back in town until, well, I do come home for a couple of days, but then I leave again. So I think it's like May 19th before I'm back. So as soon as we're ready to get, we'll make sure and post up the next live, and then we'll get it on your schedule, get it on the calendar so you know when we're going to be here. I guess that's it, everybody. Thank you so much. Have a great. And I won't be home for National Scrapbook Day either. So keep your eye on your email, because of course I do have one other thing to tell you. Of course, we will have something big going on National Scrapbook Day. I don't know what it is yet, but there will be something big. The other thing is the Home Organization Challenge, which is going to start on June 2nd, will be, I just finished the book for it. It's in editing right now. So that will be available. You can read it ahead. We'll let you know when that is up on our website, or it'll probably be something you have to get on Amazon, actually, because we want to have a Kindle version for people who like Kindle and all that. So keep your eyes on your email about that too. And I really want to encourage you and let you know how much I appreciate if you share that Home Organization Challenge with someone. Maybe they're not a crafter. I mean, it isn't going to be about crafting. I'm sure we'll touch on crafting, obviously, but it's home organization. So if you have a friend or a couple of friends, it's always easier. You always get more done when you are accountable to somebody else, and you tell somebody. We call it going public. We talk about that in the book as well. So if you think somebody wants to get organized with you this summer, we're going to organize all around your house. That's going to start June 2nd, but we will be sending out some information and starting a different email list for that. So keep your eye on your current emails. Make sure we get you on that Home Organization Challenge list if you want to join us for that this summer. Woo! Okay, my friends, I guess that's all. I will see all of you mid to late May when I'm back in town. Take care, everybody. Have a great rest of your night. Thanks for dropping in with me.